Are you going through a bit of a transition right now? Maybe you just lost your job. Maybe you moved. Maybe you quit your job and started a new one, or maybe you just got out of a relationship. If you're feeling a little more anxious than expected about this change, then this video is for you. During a big transition, a lot of people feel like they're failing at life or that they're failing at the change, and maybe that's why they're anxious. This is actually not the case. It is totally normal to feel anxious when your world just changed. What's actually happening here is that the predictability of your life has vanished. And anxiety appears when structure disappears. Big changes can disrupt identity and they can put your safety into question. You might be having thoughts like, I should have handled this better, or I could have done something differently. These aren't super helpful thoughts, even though they're very natural that come up. They actually tend to make us even more anxious. So none of this is actually failure. This isn't a personal flaw. It's actually nervous system driven. Being in that fight or flight mode is totally normal after a big disruption. And unfortunately, thinking harder can't really get you out of it. And advice doesn't really land when you're feeling a little dysregulated. So whether the advice is coming from a qualified professional or whether it's coming from your own head, it's not really effective if your body is not in a regulated state. So I'll just give you a little bit of a personal story here. Many years ago, when I was younger, I was laid off from a job after 8 years of working there. I was freaking out in every way possible. I received the news very calmly, but then in my head, I was freaking out. I was worried about money, which honestly, I should have been at that point because I didn't get much of a severance. And also, I didn't have a whole lot of savings. So I was worried about money, but I had an anchor. I had my parents that I could rely on. And there was no reason for me to be so flustered the way I was, but I was flustered. And it ended up creating a lot of chaos in my head. So immediately I was like, okay, what do I do next? I start looking for a new job. So I started doing that. And then I also had this side business that I had already started a couple of years prior. So I was like, okay, I'm going to go do the side business. And then I was like having all these thoughts of like, maybe if I was smarter, things would be different. Or maybe if I handled this situation differently, then I wouldn't have gotten laid off. So I kept having all these unhelpful thoughts, plus this like chaos of like, I'm going to go look for a job. Plus I'm going to like do my business. So there was just a lot of like disorganization and kind of a chaotic feeling in my head. And this really led me to not make very good decisions, frankly. I had a business coach at the time, and I just could not take any advice from her because of how disorganized I was feeling in my head. What I didn't understand at the time was that this was a totally normal reaction and that my nervous system was just trying to protect me. So now you might be wondering, how can anxiety be a protection? Like we talked about, it's completely normal for anxiety to spike when something disrupts your normal. And what's happening there is your body and your mind are trying to get back to like a homeostasis, a homeostatic place where there's balance restored. And I guess the way I like to think about this, it's like a very bad analogy, but I think you'll understand when I say it. You know, when you take some bug spray and you spray a bug that might be in your house or something, and then it like freaks out for the first like several minutes, and then it kind of just calms down and it almost appears stuck. Like it is dying, but that's not what happens to people when we have anxiety, but it just gets stuck. So that's kind of what's happening to you. When a disruptor comes in and it freaks you out, you do freak out for a period of time, call it, minutes or hours or days or weeks. It happens. That freak out happens. And then we tend to get stuck somewhere, right? Either it's analysis paralysis, or it is you don't know what to do next, or you are taking action, but it's not really moving you forward. So in order to avoid that freak out plus the suckness afterwards, there are actually several ways to do this to establish that regulation in your body and mind. And I'm going to give you a few, and then I'm going to share the one that I really resonate with. So one option is going outside and taking a walk in nature. Nature is very healing. And if you're amongst trees are particularly absorbent of anxious energy. Another thing is you can go outside and just touch a tree. That will help calm you down as well. Even just going outside and putting your feet in the grass, just walking barefoot on grass, that could be very grounding. If you don't want to leave your house, or if you live in an apartment like me and it's not really easy to find patches of grass that haven't been peed on by dogs, then you can actually just sit in your home and just sit on the couch and start to bring awareness to the couch supporting you or the ground underneath your feet or an object in your environment or just like the environment in general. So bringing this type of awareness can be very grounding. My personal favorite way to ground myself and kind of bring that regulation back to my system is breath work. And it can be as simple as taking a deep breath in and a deep breath out. But the way I do it is a little more structured. I do something called upside down triangle breathing. I know, a very technical name, right? So you inhale for 5 counts, you hold for 5 counts, and then you exhale for 5 counts. And you repeat this process 5 times. So I actually do it even when I'm coughed. So I do it proactively twice a day, once in the morning and once before bed at night. And then I'll use it as a tool throughout the day. So if a stressful situation comes up, if I notice that I'm starting to get into my head a lot more, if I'm nervous about a meeting, I will simply, repeat that exercise. And it does so much to calm me down in the moment. But what's more is I've noticed that this calms me down just generally. It's been a calming influence since I've been doing it over the past 6 months. I've noticed that it takes a lot more to stress me out now. And it's been a really impactful practice for me. So why don't we just take a second actually and do this right now? Because if you came to this video, it's likely that you're feeling a little tense about something. So I'll count and you can just go ahead and breathe. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. And then we're going to inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Now you can slowly open your eyes. So notice how your body feels right now and even your mind. Notice, did that create some additional space? You can even hear how my voice changed. I didn't even do the breathing with you, but even that rhythmic counting helped calm me down. And then I took 1 breath in and 1 breath out after I did that with you. And I feel great. So it's important to remember that this is not a quick fix. You're not fixing your life overnight. It's about helping your system feel safe enough to think. And that's what that exercise just did for us. It helped you feel safe. So in that space that you just created, now your mind is calm enough to start thinking clearly. And maybe in that space, you can decide what your next step is. Maybe you decide just to continue being quiet. Maybe you decide to take some specific action. Maybe you decide on a plan. There's lots of things that you can do in that free, clear space now. I've been through many transitions in my life, and I know how you're feeling. I've been through job losses. I've been through quitting jobs and starting new jobs. I've been through moves all across the country. I've been through starting businesses and then failing at those businesses. I've been through tough breakups. I've been in tough relationships. And all of these changes and transitions bring up a lot of emotion and feelings and just not maybe knowing what to do next. And a lot of times it can feel like an identity loss. So if you're going through something difficult and you need some support getting through this transitionary period of your life, I do offer free clarity calls. So there's an opportunity for us to connect and for you to maybe get grounded and us to maybe collectively decide what your next step could be. There's no pressure at all. Feel free to schedule a call using the link below in the description. If this video was helpful for you, please like, share, and subscribe. Take care and go easy on yourself. I'll see you next time.